Hello everyone, I am Laethas and welcome back to another video, and today I have my manga haul for the month of February 2018, and without further ado, let's get right into this video. Don't have as much this month as I have in previous months because I am trying to save money, purchase, a little bit less. So far it's been going well, but as the months pass, that could change. But to start off with, we have the second volume of Imperfect Girl. This is a 3-volume series, and it's an adaptation of a Nishio scene novel, and I'm just waiting for the third volume to come out, and then I'm just going to read the whole thing all in one go, just because it is so short, so if I end up not liking it, it's not that big of an investment. But yeah, the second volume of Imperfect Girl. And next up, I have the third volume of Frau Faust, and like Imperfect Girl, I'm waiting for the rest of the series to come out to read it, although I did read the first volume of this series, and then I found out that it was only a 5-volume long series, so I'm just going to wait until the rest of it is out, then read the rest. But this is a series by the same mangaka that did The Ancient Magus Bride, and it is very, very similar to that of what I've read, and so I think if you really like The Ancient Magus Bride, this is another series you will really, really like. Plus, it's only 5 volumes long, and we are over halfway through the volume releases as of now, but yeah, very similar feel to that series, and I really love that series as well, so I'm very much anticipating enjoying this, and if you like The Ancient Magus Bride, I highly recommend checking this one out. And next up, I have a pickup that should come as no surprise to any of you who have been with this channel for any amount of time, and that is the Perfect Blue novel. Perfect Blue, fantastic film by Satoshi Kon. This is the original novel that was written that inspired the film. Recently just got released. I'm very, very excited to be getting into this. I just got it today. And if you have not seen the film Perfect Blue, I highly, highly recommend and encourage you to do so. It is one of the best films ever produced in history, and I am very, very excited to get into reading this. But yeah, very excited. Highly recommend you check out the film, and I'm very, anticipating this being a very, very enjoyable work to read. But yeah, that is the Perfect Blue novel. Now, there is a second one coming out 2 months down the road, I think. I think in April there's another one coming out. But this is the first one. I'm not sure if they're like sequel, prequel type thing. But yeah, very, very excited to get into this book. And next up, I picked up the next 3 omnibus volumes of Dance in the Vampire Bund. Now, I have read the 3 omnibus volumes that I have, really enjoyed them, so I went ahead and picked these ones up. One thing to note, though, is this is a little bit of a negative. Let's move these a little bit. Alright there, alright. This one, the 6th omnibus, is out of print, so I did have to buy it used. It came with a little bit of a crease in this corner, and a remainder mark down there, but overall, the book is in pretty good condition, so not the best, but it is out of print, so it's a little harder to find. So if you do want to get this series, note that the final omnibus, or not the final omnibus, but Omnibus 6, which is... So this series is a little weird. The first series concludes here. This is the second series, which is a sequel to this series, and then there's a third series, which is a sequel to both of these, called Scarlet Order. And 7 Seas just decided to release the omnibuses sort of as a continuous sort of, I guess, line, because this one goes 13, 14, then 15 through 17. So, yeah, that's how that kind of works, even though the series technically ends here. There's a sequel series, which is this, which is 3 volumes, and then Scarlet Order, which is 4 volumes, which 7 Seas put out in one omnibus, which I do plan on picking up very soon. You might see that in my next haul, but I've been really enjoying this series, though this is not one I would recommend to everybody. It's pretty edgy, not the most edgy I've seen, but it is pretty edgy. you know, not for everyone, but I am enjoying the series, and I can't wait to get into these volumes. And next up, I picked up the first volume of Yokai Girls, which is a series put out by 7 Seas under their new Ghost Ship imprint. Yeah, this is a series, it's an ecchi harem. Thought I'd give it a go. Thought it would be like, or kind of similar to Monster Musume, and it is, though the extreme to which the girls are monster girls, not nearly as far as that. You know, yokai is more like spirit, as opposed to, like, monster, so they are more just normal girls that are, you know, have, like, supernatural girls, would be a better way of putting it than monster girls. Yes, this is one of those. It's a harem, ecchi type thing. Not sure if it's going to be exceptional. I don't think it will be. So if you're not into those kinds of things, I would steer away from this. But if you do like those, this is passable, and at the very least, enjoyable to read. I did have a good time reading it, though I do not see it as being one of my favorites going forward, but I did enjoy what I have read so far. But yeah, the first volume of Yokai Girls. And next up, I picked up the second volume, or the second omnibus for To Love Rou. I enjoyed the first volume, gonna read this one very soon. To Love Rou, very famous, sort of one of the first, I want to say, or, you know, like the progenitor of the harem ecchi, you know, not necessarily monster girl, but unnatural girls, is what I'm going to say. This may have been the start of all of that. Yeah, it is fun, it's funny. Not the best work, but it is certainly enjoyable, so I will continue to be picking up and reading these volumes so long as I enjoy the volume that I'm reading, because unlike most series, this is one I am reading volume to volume. So, you know, if there comes a point where I stop enjoying it, then I'll probably drop it, but so far I don't see that happening. And these 2-in-1s also make it much faster to collect the whole series. So yeah, there's that. And this also happens to be in 7 Seas Ghost Ship imprint. But yeah, I have been enjoying this, and I can see myself picking up the whole series. If you want a rom-com or a fun rom-com, don't mind ecchi or harem, then this is one I would recommend picking up. But yeah, that is the second omnibus, or volumes 3 and 4 of To Love Rou. And next up, I picked up the complete series Trainman, Densha Otoko, the one that was released by Viz. Now, I bought all of these used. Volumes 1 and 2, you know, came in okay, or decent enough condition, so that's good. And Volume 3 came with, like, a giant sticker on the front, and when I removed it, some of the cover came off, so that's a bit annoying. I'll probably have to replace that at some point. But I have read this series. It was a little slow to get going, but after about halfway through the first volume, I couldn't put it down, and I had to continue reading the series. Really, really enjoyed this. It's short, it's sweet. It's not going to blow your mind, but it's very enjoyable, and it pulls you through the pages. And if you see it lying around somewhere and are able to pick it up, I definitely recommend doing so. Though this series is out of print, so it might be a little bit harder to find. But if you can find it, I definitely recommend picking it up. I really enjoyed it, and it was a nice, fun read, and sort of interesting story. Yeah, all 3 volumes of Trainman, the Viz release, because there are like 3 or 4 different versions of the story, all with their own different manga. There's like a shonen one, a shoujo one. I think this is the seinen one. Yeah, I am on the lookout for the other releases. One was by, I think, CMX, and then the other one was by Del Rey. But yeah, this is the Viz one, and if you manage to find all 3 volumes, or, you know, you see them lying around, definitely recommend picking up. I definitely think it's worth your time, though I would advise binge reading it, because it is only 3 volumes long. And next up, I picked up the single volume series Yume Kira Dream Shop, and this is a single volume shoujo series that I just got today. I do like my single volume series, and I think I've almost collected every single one of them that Shoujo Beat has released. So that's kind of cool. But since I got it today, haven't had a chance to get into it yet. But I do think this is one of short stories, I think. So not sure if they're connected in any way, or if they're somewhat connected but mostly separated. But yeah, this is another single volume shoujo. As I've been collecting a lot of these, let me know down in the comments below if you want me to like rate these or rank these, or make a video about these single volume shoujo series. Yeah, you know, single volume series are cheap to pick up, and they often contain a good amount of story for the price you pay. But yeah, Yume Kira Dream Shop. And last up for this haul, I picked up the next 2 volumes of the series, which brings me up to date of Murcielago. And I have read these volumes, and I did thoroughly enjoy them. If you'd like to know like my opinions on the series, I do have a first impressions of the series on my channel. There'll be a link to that in the description down below. But I've been enjoying this series a lot. Very graphic, so if you're not into that kind of thing, maybe steer clear. But a very fun series, very action-heavy, fast-paced, sort of, you know, mystery thriller type thing. And Yen Press, these spines are not as good as the other spines, in my opinion, just on their own. But when you put them together, they do look very nice. But yeah, if you're into action, don't mind graphic content, highly recommend Murcielago. It is a very, very fun read. I've been really, really enjoying myself reading it. But yeah, that is the next 2 volumes of Murcielago, and that brings me up to date with the series. I think the 6th volume will be coming out in March or April. But yeah, volumes 4 and 5 of Murcielago. And that will do it for this manga haul for the month of February 2018. Not as much as I usually pick up, as I said in the intro, trying to focus more on the series I already have, completing those series before starting new ones. And yeah, if you have read any of these series that I mentioned, let me know what you think of them down in the comments down below, as well as any other recommendations that you might have, what series I should pick up, what series you've been enjoying, or new releases you're excited for in the future, because I'm personally very excited for those classic collections that 7 Seas has planned for this year. But yeah, that will do it for this manga haul, February 2018. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and share, and if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, there's a link to that in the description. And if you would like to keep up to date with all of my content, you can hit that subscribe button. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I am Laethas. Goodbye.